Hello everybody, welcome to TechFlow. Now say hi to Atlas. This is my doggy. He is a Chusky, half Chow, half Husky. And he has this incredible white coat. Now he has one downside. If you ever come to my house, don't wear black. You will literally be covered in white hair. Now, I'm somebody that loves to automate things. Not because I'm lazy, but because I think my time can be used better elsewhere. Now, I'm in the fortunate position to have the 3 leading robot vacuums in my house, from Dyson, vacs, and Roomba specifically. And let me tell you, there can only be one winner. This video is gonna get a little bit messy, so apologies in advance for that. Let's get straight into this. Both the Dyson 360 Hurist and the Roomba i7 Plus come in at $799.99 respectively. The cheapest out of the group is the Dbot N8. We've got the white one here. It's £200 cheaper than the other two at $599. Now, all 3 of these robots have mapping tech built in. Now, if you've never seen anything like this before, it really is interesting to witness, and all 3 robots go about it in slightly different ways. They will explore your house without the vacuum running, so they're not cleaning. All they're doing is just basically seeing what they're working with, building a virtual map of your home. The Dyson and the Roomba both have actual physical cameras on them, so for you tinfoil hatters out there, that might be a complete instant no-no, especially with the Dyson, because it has a 360 camera that's always watching 360 all the way around wherever it is. Robots in your house with a camera on it seems a little bit weird. The Dbot, on the other hand, uses lasers to navigate, which has some benefits that come along with that. For starters, it completely works without light. You don't need any light on in the room for this robot to be able to navigate successfully around it. The Dyson gets around this by having a bank of LEDs around its 360 camera, and the Roomba just simply can't work at night, which again will be a complete no-no to some people because they will just want to put these robots on whilst they're sleeping at night. Seems like a little bit of a missed opportunity from Roomba here. Now, each vacuum took about 50 minutes to an hour to map out the entire bottom floor of my house. Now, this is really quite cool. You basically get a map on your phone screen that the robot has generated, and then it allows you to put borders in place. And those borders are, well, the rooms. Obviously, you'd put them where the doors are. So the reason why you do this is so you can tell the robot vacuum in the app to vacuum certain parts of the house. The Dbot N8 Plus definitely has the best mapping capabilities out of the 3 robots I've got here, for one reason and one reason only. Now, all 3 of the robots can report to you after the fact about where they've cleaned and how long it's taken. The thing I like about the Dbot though is it actually updates live in the app as to where it is right where it's cleaning. Now, this has one major benefit that I've found. A lot of these robots obviously get stuck on cables and socks and things that you've accidentally left out, and sometimes you're wandering around the house trying to find the robot that's got stuck. With the Dbot, you can literally see exactly where it currently is to go and rescue it, and I just like watching it go around the map. The iRobot app for the Roomba is nicely designed too. It's not as nice as the Dyson app, but it still is nicely designed, easy to navigate, and it works well. However, I feel that there's quite a few features missing here and there on the Dyson and on the Roomba that we can find in the Dbot, and we'll get onto that a little bit later. Bear in mind, the Dbot is the cheapest out of the 3 by quite a large margin. All of the apps have the ability to schedule cleans and view the history of the robots, but the vacs takes it a step further with cleaning preferences, mopping capabilities, more on that in a second, and a 2-pass mode. And obviously, I've already mentioned that you get that live updating as to where the robot is in the app. I find that super futuristic and cool. One of the most annoying things about the Dyson robot is its bin size. It'll often completely cancel its clean, mid-clean, and I'll have gone out and set the robot off to clean my house, and I'll get a notification saying, robot stopped cleaning 10 minutes later, because its bin is just full. The bin on this robot is tiny, and you have to empty it yourself, like take it off the robot, take it to the bin, empty it out, and then reinstall it. So if you go out and it stops because the bin's full, you're just going to come back to a dirty house. Now, the Dbot and the Roomba just don't even have this issue whatsoever. You may have noticed the rather large docking station, and that's because these robots will actually empty their little mini bins, if you like, that are stored in the robot into a bigger bin that's actually inside the docking station itself. It empties it into a bag which obviously seals, as I found, about 4 months, which is insane. You've got literally nothing to do with this robot for 4 months. You don't have to go to any bins to empty the bin of the robot like you do with the Dyson. It takes this whole automated lifestyle to the next level if you're comparing these two against the Dyson, which I have to empty literally every time it runs. The Dyson has a suction power rated of 2000 PA, the Dbot is the largest suction power with 2300 PA, and the Roomba is the weakest of the three with 1800 PA. But numbers don't really tell the whole story here. The Roomba has this sort of patented dual brush design that, as you can see in this large debris test, picks up all of the pieces quicker than the Dbot. But I found that the dog hair was getting stuck from Atlas in the rubber brushes a little far too easily and making the suction really not that good, and I was having to go manually remove it, and I wasn't having that problem with the Dbot. I found that all three of these vacuums had very similar performance when vacuuming carpet, which is great, but not everybody has carpet. And like me downstairs, my entire bottom floor is marble, and that is where all of the dog hair collects, because that's basically where Atlas lives. So for this, the Dbot N8 Plus definitely took the cake because number one, it had the highest suction power, it was getting all of the hair up, number two, and number three, it wasn't clogging like the iRobot vacuum's patented brush design. The Dbot also has a slightly thinner footprint than the other two robots, which means if you have some lower hanging cabinets or sort of floor cabinets, this robot will be able to get underneath them and then sweep up all the debris that are probably collecting under there that you've never even seen. These are just small things that in my testing I thought I would like to mention to you lot. Something that the Dbot also has that the other two robots just don't have, is completely non-existent, is a mopping function, which for me, I thought was going to be a complete gimmick and not work very well, but has actually very quickly turned into my favorite feature of this robot. The Dbot basically knows when the mopping attachment has been attached, so it knows that it is then in mopping mode. And one thing that I was confused about is that when the mopping attachment is attached, it will still hoover up in front of it. So if you look from a top-down view of the actual robot, obviously the brushes and the suction is before the actual mop. So it basically hoovers the house and then mops behind it, which is really cool. And in the app, I'm not sure how they do this, but you have the option to actually choose the water flow level, and it says if you choose the highest one, yes, the robot may slip about. I've found that I need quite a bit of water to clean my kitchen down there, so when it's on the highest setting, it does clean the kitchen really well, which is actually insane. Like that is an incredible time saving and something that I would definitely pay for. Who likes mopping anyway? The sensor on the Dbot also knows about surfaces, and this is something that I was really confused about. I was thinking to myself, well, if it's got the mopping attachment on it, I don't want it to go into my lounge because it's got a carpet in there. But the sensor can differentiate between carpet and hard floor, so it knows where to mop and where not to mop. And you can also obviously go in the app and designate no mop zones if you specifically don't want the robot to mop in a certain area. Now, I wanted to give you some final thoughts on these robot vacuums because they are a lot of money, and that's the reason I'm doing this video, to compare the leading three to see if you need to spend all of the money on the more expensive models. The first question I want to answer though really is, are they worth it? You know, should we get one, Alex? And 100% yeah, especially if you've got cats or dogs or just animals around, or you just live in a generally messy house where you're finding that you're having to grab the Hoover every day. These robots genuinely do work, and they are far better than they were 3 or 4 years ago where they were dumb, didn't have much suction power or battery life, and couldn't find their docks. Like, these robots are now really intelligent. They do have high suction power, and they can clean your house. And obviously in the Dbot's case, in the N8 Plus, this thing can also mop as well, and it does mop the floor. Sometimes it misses things when you do it on one pass. That's why it has the 2-pass mode though. I always mop with 2-pass, and I get back and my floor, well, there's no dog hair on it for a start, and it's super clean from the mopping attachment. But obviously you just have to remember to replace or clean the mopping attachment every so often. So I think the bottom line is, if you are looking for a robot vacuum, I've tested the 3 leading ones, right? And the cheapest one out of the 3 has more features, is better than the other three, and is cheaper, and is just the one you should get. The D-Bot is where you need to spend your money. Like I say, I'm not a tinfoil hat freak, but with these robots going around my house with cameras on them, it does raise little red flags here and there in my brain, especially the Dyson one with a 360 camera on it. I'm thinking to myself when I'm walking downstairs in my dressing gown and that thing's going around, who could be logging in and watching that camera feed? Anybody from Dyson? Obviously, I assume that they're not, but that's all I'm going off is an assumption. I much prefer the laser navigation of the D-Bot, and, in my opinion, the app experience, because of the lasers, is better with those live updates. So this video is telling you to save your money. Don't go for the big name brands, don't go for Roomba, don't go for Dyson. Get the N8 Plus because it does the job, and if you don't want to mop, if you don't even need it to mop, you just take off the mopping attachment and the thing will go around absolutely fine. But there you guys have it. That's been me testing out some little robot vacuums in my little smart home series. Hope you guys have enjoyed. My name's been Alex. This has been TechFlow. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.